So what is purpose and why is it required is something that I'm gonna talk about in this particular video. And this is, I think, one of the most important things that you know most of us tend to overlook. But I'll try to give a breakdown on why purpose is needed and what the hell purpose is. To be very frank. So if you look at it from a very logical perspective, from a historical point of view, from the time since the earth was created and the big bang theory and all, it doesn't really make sense to have a purpose in life, because everything is an accident and all of us are gonna go away someday, right? That's obviously a well-defined truth. But so on a logical scale, I definitely agree that there is no need to have purpose to any individual. But on a philosophical sense, it doesn't make any sense to not to have a purpose, and I'll give an explanation to why is it that so in a minute. So if you take an example, for example, if you look around and see any living organisms, for example ants, or all the animals that you see around you, none of them have purpose. It seems as if they do not have purpose, but they do. What is the purpose? To find food, to just live life, to protect themselves and their loved ones, obviously. So the only differentiating factor that you would see between humans and other living organisms, other intelligent species, is just emotion. Food, sleep, mating, and all these things are pretty common. But emotions are the differentiators between humans and other living organisms. And when I say this, of course, there are emotions. Emotions are applicable, and they're present in other intelligent organisms also, but the degree varies significantly. So why I'm telling all of this is because if you see early men, when a human was evolving, right from monkey into chimpanzee, gorilla, etc. When in the process of evolution, till date, we've become extremely civilized, and we're trying to become more and more civilized. So after the growth of civilization, after the establishment of civilization, the basic human needs are met. What are basic human needs? Or basic needs of all the living organisms, for that matter, are to have food, have a shelter, protect themselves. So this again, goes back to this psychology concept called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So all these basic needs are driving factors for all the living organisms. But since humans have become extremely intelligent, we don't really go out to physically find food. We don't really go out and fight with people for shelter. That is the difference between we and other living organisms, right? They are not still evolved. They don't have that intelligence level to establish civilization, the other living organisms other than humans. So that's the reason, that's their purpose. But for us, since all these basic level needs are met, we would need some driving factor to live life. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense to live life. Now, here comes the picture of purpose. By establishing a purpose, you would find a reason to live happily, right? Because that's, I think, one of the main reasons why human lives. Otherwise, all the basic needs are met, and there does not seem to be a point to live life, right? So having a purpose and putting efforts towards achieving it is probably one of the most important things that a human can have. Now, purpose is not necessarily having a goal. A lot of people see when I say purpose, they feel that they need to grind 12 hours a day every day, make 100 crores, or build a business, or hire 100 employees. No, it is not necessarily that. Purpose varies, and many people do not even know what purpose is, but still they have it. But I think with the rise of social media, people who are extremely intelligent are becoming more and more lazy and addicted to the instant gratification, providing stuff that is available on the internet. For example, reels that have evolved, which started as shorts in YouTube, or they're present in TikTok also. But anyway, I think I'm deviating from the point. The point I'm trying to make is, in the human evolution, we are so stuck in a loop that we don't realize the importance of having a purpose, and are stuck in extracting happiness and gratification from small and tiny dopamine releasing activities. I mean, the thing that I'm trying to tell you is, when you're addicted to short form of content, or content that gives you instant gratification, your happiness releasing hormones, one of the happiness releasing hormones called dopamine, gets released in your brain, that gives you instant happiness. Now, obviously, some of you might argue that that's their purpose, right? Scrolling Instagram reels is probably somebody's purpose. I definitely agree with that, but the problem there is, after a point of time, the level of dopamine is too high that you won't be satisfied with the life that you have. It applies to everything. It really eventually leads to a point of super saturation that you don't really feel content with anything that you have, and at last you feel that there is no point in living life. So that's the reason you should not really get addicted to any form of activity that would give you instant gratification for that instant, which you are sure that will cause a kind of guilt feeling in you later, or probably would take away your happiness. So that's about this video. The whole crux, if I have to summarize: find your purpose, and you would be able to do that by doing some strategy, and I'll talk about it in the next video. But until then, thank you so much.